All right, sports fans, we are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Steven Rychel, being joined by the man to the right of me, Mr. Ben Troupe, as always. In the far right-hand corner is the man on the mic, Mr. Marvin Powell the third, and joining us back on the Fan and again for this season, former tight end, currently working with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mr. Marcus Pollard. Marcus, appreciate your time this morning, my friend.
Good morning. Thank y'all. Appreciate having me on.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give it to these guys to kick this thing off, and we'll kind of circle back around. Marvin, you want to kick this one off, brother?
Sure. Again, Marcus, thank you for joining us today. Listen, as I was reading through, a lot of your bios and just getting a greater understanding of your career. For those who don't know, and I'd love for you to talk about it, you didn't play football until you got to the NFL. Is that correct?
That is not totally correct. But okay. I played in high school. I didn't play in college, but I played in high school. But okay. I played defensive end in high school. So I didn't play tight end, but maybe my senior year, for about half the year after somebody else got hurt, they threw me in. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I can say technically I've never played tight end until I got to the league. And
what's remarkable, I mean, the one thing that jumped out at me was, the NFL, obviously, super physical league. If you played at a major college like Ben did at Florida, like I did at USC, then you went up against NFL guys every day in practice. Forget the games, you know what I'm saying? Correct. And that helps the transition go from college to pro. You didn't play any college football, didn't compete or practice or get better at anything football related, but you go to the NFL as a tight end, and what you're known for is your blocking out the gate, which blew my mind, because I'm thinking, how does he go from high school football to NFL football? And when you look at the difference in physicality, I mean, it's unreal. And you would think a tight end who transitions from basketball is going to be a receiving threat, which you ended up being. But can you talk about that adjustment and just the physicality and how you were able to really survive, and not just survive, but thrive in that aspect of the game, having not played football in a couple of years?
Yeah. And me not playing in college is technically not 100% accurate. I'm probably the most famous flag intramural football player in the history of flag football. So I do have that under my belt. Now the transition from, playing flag football in college to blocking in the league to come in as he's going to be a blocker. I had no clue on how to block, and Ben could tell, he can speak to it as well. Even though you face tough competition every day, for me, it was playing with some of the best, day in, day out, and to try to learn how to block. It was a skill set. To me, when I think about blocking nowadays, when I talk to young tight ends, guys in the locker room, guys in high school, I said blocking is a want to. It's just an attitude. It's like rebounding in basketball. That's what I equate it to. So if you want to learn how to block, you got to be willing to get a little dirty, a little physical. You're not going to get a lot of glitz and glamour and highlights from blocking, but to be an effective tight end, a complete tight end, blocking has to be a part of the arsenal.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, listen, you see these guys, Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez, basketball guys that transitioned, and the reality is they were known for really purely receiving, from my perspective at least. And you're someone who just came in there, and as a fullback, I understand, what it is to go up against a defensive end. You know what I mean? And I was blown away at the fact that was what you were known for out the gate, because it really speaks to your toughness and just, I don't know if it's the Alabama in you or what, but it speaks to your toughness, man. And I love that. Let me ask you this: growing up in such a football state, were you Roll Tide or War Eagle as a fan, or did you have other teams you were looking at?
War Eagle all the way. In Alabama, you get two choices: Alabama or Auburn. And I live so close to Auburn that I ended up just becoming a big diehard War Eagle fan.
Right on. Yeah. I can respect that. My Uncle Chuck played at Auburn for Pat Dye, in the late 80s. And other than USC, I will say I do root for the Auburn Tigers just because of that. I got.
MP, where are you from?
So, I grew up between LA and New York.
Okay.
My dad played 9 years with the Jets. So we lived in Long Island, near Hofstra, where they were practicing at. And then he went to law school while he was in the NFL. And after that, we moved to LA. He worked for his firm. So I went to high school in the San Fernando Valley at Birmingham High School. And then from there, I went to USC.
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah, man. It was great growing up on both coasts. And, obviously having a dad who played in the league, it helped me tremendously. But yeah, East Coast, West Coast has been my life growing up.
I got you.
Yeah. I'm gonna come back to you with more. I don't want to hog this thing up.
It's all good. I mean, we have this Marcus blessing us. This is the second time coming through. I gotta ask this. I mean, so okay, didn't really play in high school, right? Played defensive end. Didn't really play in college. But then football, you 14-year career, football career is over. You transition to the front office, which for most players, that is not how we train. We either go to coaching or we go away. You don't see us hear from us again.
Yeah.
Gus Bradley, Doug Marone, Urban Meyer, Darrell Bevel, Doug Peterson, Liam Cohen. I want to go to the Marcus Pollard School of Sustainability, regardless of the coach that comes in. How have you done that? Because you know how it is, Marcus. Most of the time when the coaching staff gets fired, everybody's going to strip coach everybody.
Yeah.
How have you had that type of staying power? 2013, a long time ago, man. I want to say DVDs were still around. I think 2013, if I can remember. But how has Marcus Pollard sustainability? How have you maintained that in a front office that, for most of us, we only know that's what the decisions are made and they have to be executed on the first floor. You on the second floor. How have you maintained that for so long?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ben. I just think it's how I played the game as an asset to my teammates in the locker room, just trying to help guys get through issues they may have, being a hard-nosed person that, like you said, playing college basketball to making a 14-year NFL career, some of those intangibles, I think I've made myself valuable to our organization because of my relationship with our locker room and having the ability to walk and address most issues or concerns they may have. I've actually done it. And a lot of times this time of year, I get, those phrasing guys who's on the cusp, on the bubble. What are my chances? So now I can speak freely. Listen, I was a college basketball player and made 14 years for career. So you just go out and do what you're supposed to do and let the chips fall where they may. So I think me having that ability to speak to them intimately about things they may be dealing with, I think just been a huge asset for me maintaining this role as long as I have.
But even with that, you talk about we always talk about today's athlete compared to when we played, compared to how much different is a pro athlete in 2026 compared to 2020, compared to 2013. And we was talking about Travis Hunter before we came on, but how have you adjusted to the player? Because they say the hardest, not for you mostly, Marcus, but it's hard for a head coach to resonate with the player. I know they let you listen to music in practice now. The coaches don't know they don't know who that is. They know what they playing. How have you adjusted to these players to be able to say, look, y'all boys coming in with NIL money before you sign your contracts now. Some of y'all, how have you handled those type of high profile players?
Yeah, I think the asset for me is having kids about their age. So I've been very fortunate. So when I first got in the league, I could still associate with some of those new guys coming in back in 2013 and having kids now the same age some of these kids coming through right now. I can kind of relate. Dad, that's not cool. Don't say that. Some of the slang that they use, I can kind of pick up on that. But I think having the ability just to adapt. And when I think about people like Coach Saban, I think one of the reasons he left coaching was because he couldn't transition anymore. He couldn't adapt to this new modern day athlete and just how they perceive things, how they want things, how they've gotten things growing up. And NIL is just a small example of how guys have changed from 2003, 2013 to 2020. 2023. So just that modern day athlete now, they accustomed to having money, having social media, having the ability to change their minds if they decide to go to a different school than they're at right now. So I think learning how to adjust and adapt to Generation X and Generation Y and X and Z has been an asset for me. And I just kind of get in where I fit in and listen to what they're saying and just meet them where they are.
you play with a lot of teams. You played with Peyton Manning. You played with Matt Ryan. You played with Dan Campbell in Detroit. When you see that a guy like Matt Ryan's in the front office, you see what Dan Campbell is doing with the Detroit Lions. When we see these guys now, when you see who was the most influential player, if there was one that you played against, Peyton Manning is not allowed to do anything but be Peyton Manning. They pay him to be Peyton Manning. I'm not mad at him. It is fine. But who out of all the guys you experienced, whether that be a head coach, front office guy, teammate, which guy stood out the most to you, and have any of those guys had any influence on you right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Also, there, Ben. Coach Dungy jumps out right away. Among others, Coach Dungy just taught me how to stay this even. I never saw him yell, cuss, scream, get mad. I never saw him get so excited, enthusiastic that he was just overjoyed. So he had this really calm demeanor and a presence about him that I'm like, man, I want some of what he got. And so I just started watching him, all the things he did, how he talked, how he addressed the team, how he addressed players that may have discipline issues. Just a wonderful, wonderful man altogether. And I think about my first tight ends coach, a guy named Tom Batter. Tom Batter now has passed away probably like a year ago. But when I first got in the league, I didn't know what I was doing. So he took me out on the indoor and we ran 5-yard routes. 5 in, 5 out, footwork. Here's your footwork. And so for me, he took the time to teach me how to play the game even before throwing a ball. I said, Coach, what are we going to throw a football? He said, we don't need no football right now. There's more to learn this game, how to play this game, than throwing a football around. So I've had a lot of influential people. A guy named Jason Belzer comes to mind, Cornelius Bennett, some older guys. So when I first got into the league, they really helped me. Tony Bennett was a defensive end that came from Green Bay, had a long, luxurious career. And so I've had a lot of influence from some of the older heads that really helped me get to the position I am right now.
And I mean, now we're not gonna get no Adam Schefter insider information right now. But, and I know we talked to you about this young man last year, right? But what does a Travis Hunter mean to a football team? We know what he is. We know what he is. He is the epitome of don't get tired. This dude does not get tired. But every time we have you on, Marcus, and you talk about, you said, man, great young man. Like what makes him great to just be around outside of just what he means athletically?
Yeah. Let me go back one step. When you ask me about what I'm doing now, I would be an awful colleague if I didn't recognize people like Mo Kelly in Seattle, who was a big driving force in how I managed this chair that I'm sitting in. Lamont Winston was another one. Kevin Winston was another one. Art Hightower out in with the Chargers. So I've had some really influential guys that really helped me mold my template. And all those guys I just mentioned were in player engagement a long time. So I would be remiss if I didn't give them their kudos to helping me understand what it's going to take to have a longevity as a player engagement person. But now back to dropping to Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter to me is the epitome of what you want in the locker room. We was talking earlier before we got on the air if he was going to play. Now I don't think he's going to play, and I think if they don't play, they better hide his shoulder pass. And Ben, you mentioned he may have a second pass somewhere, but that's just the kind of kid he is. He's a hard worker, never gets tired. I'm like, bro, how you go on both sides of the ball? How you retain all that information? You guys know how extensive a playbook can be, and for this guy to retain all that information and then have to go, every other play, having to learn formation and shift, because our offense in itself can be very complex. And if he's picking that up and not making mistakes, and then he's going over the defense and doing the same thing, it says a lot about his tenacity, his toughness, and how his intelligence helps him be a remarkable two-way player.
I mean, I feel like Marv, but this is my last one. When you think about players transitioning away from the game, everybody either, like I say, either you're a coach or you want to go into coaching or you go away. The front office is not talked about a lot. Like, you don't hear GMs, presidents, player engagement. To those young men who want to say, hey, man, I want to be around the game, but I don't want to have nothing to do with the game plan. I don't want nothing to do with that. Yeah. What would Marcus Pollard's, what would be your, because let me say it the right way. It's not that they're gonna be, because sometimes when you in your 20s, Marcus, and even this too, Marv, we don't hear we can't. We just hear, I just got to do this and I'll do that. No. What would be your advice to them to say, hey, front offices are different now. Like, the people that really work here. I know who the coach is and the strength coach is. There are people that help with tickets, parking. Wait a minute. These emails that y'all get, somebody send up, just right down the hall. What would be your advice to people saying, one, it's okay to walk away from the game, the physical aspect of it, but I want to be a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I want to be the next Marcus Pollard. Now, I'm not saying you're going nowhere soon. I ain't saying nobody go places. You know what I'm saying? But what would be your real advice to them? Because I think for most players, most of us, we want to be around the game, and what we really want to say is we want to keep our job. And I want to grow old in this seat. That people say, man, I've been here for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the thing is, and I can't speak for Marv, longevity and sustainability is hard, man. That stuff is difficult. And when I've been the best athletically, how do I go from athletically to using my mind, my skill set, my charisma, my know-how, to stay in a seat like yours? For what would be your advice to them youngers that don't really know what the NFL really is because they in it right now?
Yeah, I think it's like anything. If you find what you're passionate about, I think so often we as football players grow up from 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 years old and loving football, not like it, but loving it. And when you love something as much as we love playing football, you really don't find time for other things. And so we don't get a chance to figure out what else outside of football we actually enjoy. And so to me, that would be my motto, my encouragement to anybody listening that wants to get in this seat. Find what, even if it's videotaping, they're photographers. We have lawyers. We have football operations directors. We have team security. I just talked to a guy from Atlanta. He's doing team security down with the Dolphins now. So there are so many avenues that players can transition into if they want to stay around the game. What my strongest advice is to find out what you're passionate about, because there's so many facets of the NFL. That's not just coaches and players. That's front office people. There's my position. There's scouts. There's GMs, there's presidents. Matt Ryan, we just talked about him. Now he's a president there in Atlanta. And so there's so many opportunities. But when you find out what you're passionate about, just follow that passion, and then it'll take you where you need to go.
Now, you've already talking about how, you're the director of, player engagement down there in Jacksonville. For those who don't know, like, what is it that you do day in, day out, week in, week out?
Yeah, that's a great question, Steve, because player engagement is so multifaceted. We can go from being I just had one of our good players, Josh Allen, laying here on the couch, and he and I were just talking about life. So sometimes it's not always about the programming that we do with our rookies and some of our veterans to help them get their degrees, help them get a job post-football, to make sure they stay connected to our Legends community, being there to help them navigate this NFL experience, because a lot of times guys come in and they come into a new city, they come to a new situation, but just being a resource for their parents, resource for their families. Hey, they may be married with a kid. Hey, MP, where's the best place to set up shop for our kids and go to school? What are the better school districts in the area? And so it's really multifaceted when it comes to player engagement. The biggest thing I can say, Steve, is just we want to be a tremendous resource. If you got a question, even if we don't have an answer, we're going to tell you where you should go to get that answer.
Now, you were just talking about some of the young kids. We had one of your guys, undrafted free agents, come through here before the draft, and we had the chance to interview him.
Hey,
TJ Bowlers. Now he's a second gen NFL player. What are your what do you think the chances of him making that 53-man roster this season?
So it's kind of interesting. I just pulled each rookie in, and me and my staff had a 15-minute just here. Tell me what your expectations are for training camp. What are your goals for this season, and what can player engagement help you with? When I talked to TJ, he was so passionate about there are 2 teams to make, and he wasn't just like dead set, I got to make the roster, because you guys know 53-man roster, 47 get jersey, 46 get jerseys on Sunday. So TJ was just thinking, listen, let me make a team, either the traveling team or the practice squad team, because he understands if he makes a practice squad team, there's an opportunity for him, like I share with them, I was on the practice squad too for about 6 or 7, 8 games. And we've got plenty of guys in this locker room right now that's fighting for roles and positions on this team just for making the practice squad. So when I talked to TJ about his expectations and his goals from training camp, they were all aligned with what I've learned about him so far. Hardworking, determined, and he's going to do whatever is necessary to make himself available to this team through his diet, through his training, making sure his body's right. But he's doing all those necessary things. I think the sky's the limit for TJ.
I hope he's able to do it. I mean, like you said, it's it's one of the things I think. And Dominican Sue made a post. I think right before we got to the Hall of Fame game, was that no one talks about all the broken dreams of the guys that don't make the teams, that don't make a roster, that don't make the 53. Don't make the practice squad. That we're gonna have almost over 1,000 young dreams dashed in a matter of 32 days or so. So
yeah. And so the part that I often talk to guys, because I often go to special teams meetings, because going to special teams meeting, most guys is going to come in here about not getting an opportunity, not getting reps. How can I make the team? I always point back to special teams, because if you're a young guy coming in the league, that's how I made it. A lot of us just made our way through being on special teams. And when they come in here and they feel disheartened, I always tell them, this is the only thing you can control: your energy, your attitude, and whether you make mistakes or not. And after that, you can't control who makes a team anyway. So why worry about it? It's easier said than done. But when I can sit in this chair and say, I did it. I know if I can do it, you can do it. And so for me, that's still encouraging. When they hear me say that, it kind of lifts them up. Okay, now they can make the next step. So it may be 2 or 3 days. Now they may circle back. But now it's the same conversation about enjoying the process. And I think when you just enjoy the process and don't worry about the results, you're not results driven, you can take what's given. So if you get cut and your dreams are doused, did you give it your best shot? Did you give your best effort? Did you make every opportunity to give yourself the best chance to make the team? Yes. What else can you do? Some guys are just more talented. You know what I mean?
Live in the moment.
It's just that way.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to want to ask in all you guys, obviously, Hall of Fame just went by. Everyone had their got their gold jackets, got their bus, made their announcements. But during Roger Craig's announcement, he basically said that he's got the dementia prognosis coming on right now. We're seeing a lot of cases where we're seeing guys, early said Alzheimer's. Chris Johnson, came out with his ALS diagnosis. So we're seeing the ice bucket challenge making its rounds again. It's not something you guys know, like this is definitely going to happen, but it's a possibility that all NFL athletes sign up for, is that potentially there's going to be some type of long-term effect. It's something Marvin says all the time. The human body wasn't meant to play football, but I mean, it's NFL is the biggest professional sports in North America, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Roger doing that at his Hall of Fame speech, though?
Yeah, I think it was to each his own, and you're given a platform to discuss any topics in that moment that you feel are on your heart, whether it's thanking a coach, thanking a teacher, thanking your teammates. But also, I think it's an opportunity to address some of the issues that could come up later on in life, and to sweep it under the rug. I think so often we've done that as athletes. Oh, I'm not hurt. I can get through this. I had a concussion, but I still want to go play ball. Just what we talked about, Travis, about hiding his pads. We all get an understanding that it comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. And I think I have to commend Roger for taking the time to address the issue. And it's not something that is going to go away as long as there's football. There are going to be instances where guys are getting hurt, where there may be issues or delays that we have to fight out later on in our careers and our lives. I just think it's part of it. Sad to say, but it's just part of what we do, what we signed up for as athletes and professional football players. And I just commend Roger Craig for bringing some awareness to such a sensitive topic.
Marvin.
The movie Concussion has changed and shaped so many people's view on football, And while I do not disagree that if you play this game long enough, it is absolutely possible that you can help, bring upon some type of mental issue, health issue, head issue. Okay. I do not deny that at all. And like Marcus said, even with all that, players love this game, and you know what you signed up for. And if you asked many players, knowing what you know now, would you still play? Many, like myself, would say yes, all right, because you know what this is from the get-go. You know what I mean? The NFL is known for a long time and didn't tell players certain things. That was really an issue. But, you know, and I hate it for Roger Craig. I grew up a huge Roger Craig fan. I saw him in his prime. I watched him religiously from Montana and Rice and these guys. And I hate to see what he's going through. People who don't play football get dementia too. A lot more of them get it than football players. You know, this just happens. What I don't like is just how how the game becomes demonized, and it's bad, and and people just, their perception of everything just gets skewed, in my opinion. So when I hear players come out, like Marcus said, it's their platform, their moment, their truth. I hate to see Roger Craig going through that as a human being, and as a guy who I used to idolize, still do. He's one of the best to ever do it, one of the most underrated running backs in the history of the NFL, period. But yeah, it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. But this is something that people go through who play football, people who don't play football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have a beautiful game. We have a beautiful game.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a really valid point with the opportunity to address what he did in the moment. You feel bad for anyone that's dealing with health issues, and to be a football player and to come out and make a reference to that. But I think you made a great point when you talk about there's not enough case studies for everyday folks outside of football to discover how many of those folks are dealing with dementia or some other Parkinson's or ALS symptoms. So we only have a small sample size of guys who have those issues, and so sometimes it's being directed back to concussions in football play. But I think once you get a better understanding of what football really is and how it operates, and you fall in love with it, as we all did as kids. And so to put this sort of stigma that football is a terrible sport, you can say that, but you can also say the thing about a lot of things. Boxing is the same. So I just think it's an opportunity for us as football players, professional football players, professional athletes, just to put our arms around Chris and Roger Craig, and just to be able to help them in any way we can. I don't think we should miss that part too, that the PA and the NFL does a really good job of making certain players are being taken care of as well.
Yes, they
Ben,
do.
your thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, Roger. I mean, when Roger Craig said that, I mean, I heard something different. I mean, when you're a part of a football family, we don't got to know each other to feel for each other, to reach out to each other. Roger Craig, when he said it, he know that's going to get our attention. Like, what? And sometimes Roger Craig, my grandmother died of liver cancer. And it's something, and I'm not saying Roger Craig is going to die. I'm not saying that either. But my grandma said, I don't want people to know I got liver cancer, so they know. I want them to know, so they won't treat me different. Like, yes, my body is changing. I'm still me. When Stuart Scott said, you can't beat cancer, I'm going to give it all I got. And sometimes somebody got to fight for me. Sometimes I'd rather you know what's going on with me. So if you see me, hey, man, I'm dealing with this. And, I go back to one of the best players I ever went up against. I mean, Brian Dawkins turned his whole speech about mental health. He started talking about it. He didn't stop talking about it. Because I think with football players, people know that when we speak, people listen. Right? And I don't think no football player blames it. I think you make a great point, Marvin. You look up the word dementia, Roger Craig gonna pop up. It says at these ages. Now we may speed it up. It might not happen to us at all, but football players gonna do a lot of things. They ain't gonna make excuses now. They're gonna say, hey man, you know what I'm saying? It happens. I mean, my brother and father's in the military. My brother said when he was signed on the dotted line, they said, man, you may never come back from this. He was like, yeah, I know, and just kept writing. You know what I'm saying? So I respect Roger Craig even more, because sometimes Roger Craig goes, it's a face to everything, right? Dementia, Alzheimer's, and he's saying if I get to be the catalyst to make sure that research becomes a cure, then so be it. So I respect him for it, because I don't think these guys want to do it. Sometimes you don't want people to know, man, I don't want people thinking that I'm looking for sympathy or empathy. Yeah. I'm just saying this is what I got, or So I do respect it. And as a football family, as a former player, man, when you hear something happen to former players, I can't speak for Marcus and Marvin, it do something to me because I wish I knew them. You ain't gonna know us all. We ain't gonna know everybody. I mean, my last year with the Titans was 2007. Chris Johnson got there in 2008, so I ain't get a chance to play with him. So it's a respect level that I give to these guys. If I'm gonna make my Hall of Fame speech about something bigger than me, what's more humbling than that? Hey man, I ain't gonna make it. This is my moment, and I ain't gonna make it about me. I'm gonna make it about dementia. I just happen to be a person with it. Because there's many people saying, thank you, Roger, because people don't get it. That people that's out there. So, yeah, I looked at it differently. And like I said, man, when the NFL concussion protocol came, that's the only reason why I knew what a neurologist was. Right? I know what a neurologist was and sitting down talking with him. But, man, ain't no excuses, man. If I could do it again, I'm doing it again. It could be concussion part 16. I'm doing it again because it is hard to describe what football do. I'm already affected by it. Marv, you a freaking legacy player. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Powell for Hall of Fame, Marcus, if you don't know, the hashtag is Marvin Powell for Marvin Powell. This is the legacy. His daddy should be in the Hall of Fame right now. So, never been to Canton. Shout out to class of 04, Larry Fitzgerald. Congratulations to that man. But when Marvin Powell goes in and his son right here I'm gonna be there. My wife ain't gonna know what's going on. She gonna be like, "Why are these people here?" Don't worry about it. Just sit down and listen to the speech. But no, Roger. I know I never met him, but the first 1,000, right? 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving in the season, and he's gonna get flooded with love. He's going from football players, different people. But yeah, it was hard to hear him say that. But I think Roger was like, if I don't tell people, man. Because I think he's speaking to his family, too. Because, we got family members that really don't be around us. And they saying, dude, like, every time I come around, y'all, you be like, why you be, man, I got dementia. You think I want to tell you that? I don't want to kill the mood, right? But, no, I respect it. And he's not the first. He won't be the last. I hope that any football player, whatever you're dealing with, going through, man, use your platform to speak out, man. Go to these PA meetings and different things because football is a very, very lonely place, man. It could be a very, very long because there ain't too many people like you. And your family members can see you, but they don't really understand. They don't know what don't know what it's like. Expectations in football is different. I don't compare it to the NBA. I don't compare it to MLB. Nothing against them. But that's Michael Strahan right there. Oh, there go Brian Urlacher right there. There go Troy Polamalu right there. Oh, shit, there go Asamoah Gilmore right there. There go this bum named Dwight Freeney that I got to deal with. And I use bum, figuratively, not literally. So people don't get the fact that, hey, man, I appreciate the pressure. The pressure took my mind off the pain. Yeah. And the pain was there, but I hope that Roger Craig still live a long life, man. And I hope that he comes back and say, hey, man, because of what I said in my Hall of Fame speech, I am cured of it because we have a cure now. Because people ain't ready for that, right? Let football players be the reason why cancer research become cancer cures. They really going to be pissed. Like, what? All these doctors and they did it? Yeah, dude, because we're going to keep knocking on the door. So, and I hope it is. I hope it's a cure for all terminal diseases, especially ALS. Especially that. And Parkinson's and different stuff. But congratulations to that, man. I'm happy that he got his flowers while he can still smell them. And say, man, I'm in the hall, and if I got dementia, we was going to love on you no matter what, Roger. Now we really going to love on you. Now you're going to be telling people, stop calling my phone, man. I know you love me. You know what I'm saying? I hope we become bugaboos to him, man. I really
Yeah.
Now, I agree with a lot of the points that you guys made. I don't think there is a direct correlation to Rodgers' dementia to football play. And as Marcus said, there's just not enough case studies, not just in professional athletes, just in people in general to find out if there is a correlation. Yeah. But there was also another cool moment that happened at the enshrinement. Obviously, Adam Vinatieri went in. And for people that don't know, that's Jim Irsay's time. So a lot of people may think Adam Vinatieri as a Patriot, but I think he's just as known as being a Colt as well.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, Marcus. Obviously, that's also one of your alma maters there. What do you think about Adam's speech and wearing Jim's tie up there? I think that is a cool little touch to it all.
Oh man, that I didn't realize that was Mr. Irsay's tie. That makes his speech even better. Adam is competitor. They showed a highlight of him. You get these Hall of Fame moments, and they start addressing old footage. And I saw him walk down Herschel Walker to keep him from scoring a kickoff return touchdown. I thought that was pretty remarkable. How a kicker catch him and tackle him, keep him from scoring a touchdown was pretty cool. But when I think about a legacy of somebody like Adam, when it comes to kicking, how efficient and accurate he had to be, and how sometimes that quarterback, kicker, and DB in my mind are the toughest three positions to play because you're the hero of the GOAT in every scenario. His speech was awesome. I was really blown away when the comment he talked about the holder. The only person can hold his balls other than his wife was pretty funny.
He had a bunch of funny ones.
Yeah.
That Pat McAfee one.
Pat McAfee was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. So to me, for him to take an opportunity to remember legacy with Mr. Irsay and him going into the hall himself a few years ago to wear that tie and to have some fun, on that platform too. It's not all about seriousness, but also showing a little bit of your personality and things you want to address. So I thought it was a really cool speech.
I think it's weird that I think he's only like the third kicker ever to be put in the Hall of Fame at this point in time. Like, we've had some really good kickers over the last 20, 30 years or so, right? Obviously not a whole lot of them up there in Adam's range, but I mean, we talk about it all the time with the Hall of Fame process. I still feel that we need to change some things because in my opinion, there's a log jam of deserving guys, not just the superstars, not just the guys that like you could close your eyes and say like this guy's going to be in, may not be the first or second year, but this guy should be in. Do you think that there should be something changed with the voting process, or even with allowing like having a cap on how many guys come in each year? Like we had a year where we only had like 2 or 3 inductees, but then you have like you put the senior committee along in line with the coaches, which I don't really agree with. I don't think you should have that. I think you should have an induction process where you have anywhere from 5 to 10 of them. If there's 10 inductees that year, there's 10 inductees that year.
Yeah.
We're Ben sitting there, every week on the show talking about, Marvin's dad. Marvin's dad was not only a great player, but he was also an NFLPA president. Why are we still having conversations like this? I say it all the time. Guy here in Phil, who played here in Phil, Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner's got as good stats, as better stats than Patrick Willis, and Patrick Willis should have absolutely been a Hall of Famer. So why are we talking about Seth Joyner here? Not even in anyone's conversation. So yeah. I do think there's something fundamentally needs to be changed with the voting process. Whether we take it out of the writers' hands, we put it more into former Hall of Famers, NFL veterans, etc. If you were in charge of that process, what would you do to kind of make it more friendly for the people that gave their blood, sweat, and tears to the sport?
Yeah, it's very similar to, is there a right way to do, if we're talking college football? So, it's just picking one national champ. Then we went to 14. Now, here we are now at 12. And then they're talking about expanding it even more. So, to me, I don't know if there's really a right or wrong way to do it. However, I do think there's a necessity where you do put coaches, players, and executive in different buckets. And maybe if you just take one executive and one coach and then maybe 3 or 4 players. But what I can appreciate the emphasis put on getting into the hall. I look at it like this, and this is just how I see things. I can be a little messed up. If there's a line at a nightclub to get in, what's going on in there? Everybody ain't getting in. But the fact that somebody's standing in line as I'm walking by, I want to be in there. So for me, it takes the standard of what it takes to get to Hall of Fame to another level because everybody's waiting to get in. It's only exclusive for a few people. And for me, that's the thing that makes getting into the hall even more special because there are a lot of people waiting in line to get in this club. Men, women, if you're 18 and above, you got to wait your turn. And if you're going to get in, you're going to get in. But to me, it's something exciting about having that long line. It says something special about getting into the place.
Ben and Marvin, if you want to add to this.
Yeah, so actually I want to switch gears and get back to Travis Hunter. So, in football, in high school football, it's normal to play both ways. In college, it's not as normal, but many people have done it. In the NFL, not so much. We all know Deion Sanders was effective as a receiver when they used him in Dallas, and obviously arguably the greatest shutdown corner ever. With how rare it is, Marcus, why do you think that Travis Hunter is built for that? Why is he literally one of tens of thousands to ever approach this thing as a two-way player? Why is he special and different considering his size and all the things that we hear about in the media and with the fans?
Yeah, I think Travis has the intangibles to help him. First of all, he's done it since he started playing sneakers. I mean, since he put on cleats. He's probably played both sides of the ball. So getting here to this level, it speaks to his intelligence, because how smart you have to be to learn two playbooks. I had a hard time learning one. If he can learn two, that says a lot about him and his learning ability. Two, it says something about his tenacity of how important football is to him. And then three is his love of ball, because if it gets hard, I'm certain there are days where it gets hard for him. Like, man, I really don't want to do this. But his love for football and his want to be special is what's separating him from most other people with the same sort of ability or opportunity.
Understood. Do you see the argument regarding his? I mean, Deion. For people who don't know, Deion is over 6 feet tall. Deion's not a small dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For people who argue about Travis's size and potential durability, and you look at the difference between college and the NFL, it's not the same. Very similar, and he played for, you could say, he played in the Big 12, so he played in the major conference against real competition. But do you see concerns with his size, or do you think that's something that he'll just deal with because he's been doing it his whole life?
I think it's something he'll adjust to. He went from about 175, 180-ish kind of last year. He's 192 right now, and so he's muscled up, put on some muscle. Got a little bit thicker because I'm certain he hurt that big hole off season. So he came in a little bit heavier. And I think he'll maintain somewhere about, high 180s this season because it's important to him. People kept telling him, hey, you too light, you too little. And he did something about it. And to me, that's just the kind of guy he is.
One more question. So last year, the Jags went on a serious run. You had a very good regular season. Trevor Lawrence, there was probably a 2-week period where you heard whispers, of possible MVP. This guy was balling so much. Why do you think the Jags offense is going to be able to come back and be as productive even in losing your running back ATN to the Saints? Do you see this offense putting up those points like it did last year?
Yeah, Mark, that's a great question. I think we have the ability to put up points. We have a good young running back room, good stable of guys that's in there. Travis Etienne was exciting, lightning, explosive running back for us, and his value, his additions to this team and the offense will definitely be missed. Just like any other team, you lose players, you got to find a way to manufacture some more points, some explosive plays, and I think we got a good group to do it. I think Trevor Lawrence is on point to have another spectacular season. Coach Cohen has done a really good job of simplifying things for him, and so whenever he's in a position, we repped it so much, he knows exactly where to go with the ball. And I have to add, our defense is probably going to be in the top. So I don't want to say the top, but the way these guys have attacked training camp and our offense has really shown that they're going to be a really good defense. So when you got a really good defense, you got an offense that can run the ball and be productive. And we have 3 of the best specialists in the league with our punter, our kicker, and our long snapper. So that makes our special teams even that more of an advantage for us as it relates to the opponent. And so I'm really looking forward to what we have in store for this season. I think it's going to be a very productive one.
Ben. Right on. No, even the holiday, getting back to the Hall of Fame conversation. We've had this conversation a lot over the years when I was on ESPN Radio, and it came down to somebody said something. Somebody said the difference in Hall of Fame and not is this. A non-Hall of Famer is a person to say, who is that? And somebody will tell them. A Hall of Famer, somebody will say, do you know who that is? They won't, like you don't realize who this person is, and they'll look at you and say, and even if you don't know what they're talking about, they're going to give you that person's history. Like the other day, I seen LaShawn McCoy on his podcast saying, if I had to pick between Jerry Rice and AB, Antonio Brown, I'm going to pick AB. They said, let's shut the
there it is right there.
Well, here's the thing. They wanted to shut the show down because Jerry Rice had more yards after 30 than AB had his whole career after age 30. They're a Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer is the type of person to where somebody goes, "Oh man, he ain't that good," or somebody, "No, he was." Like, wait, he was Timothy. Like that. No, ain't no. And I've gone against these guys. Like there was something different about, Zach Thomas in Miami.
Yeah.
Miami, the team wasn't good, but he was. Jason Taylor, he was. I mean, I remember, and I know I'm biased. Yes, I'm biased. I love Tony Baselli, and yes, he should be in. Fred Taylor is a Hall of Famer. You don't got to like it. You don't got to like me. I would say this. Two things about the Jaguars. I think Fred Taylor is a Hall of Famer, and I would put money. The best tandem of running backs you ever seen to me was Fred Taylor and Marvin Jones-Drew. I saw them. I had to deal with it. I would put them up against the best talent, like, Lindell White, Chris Johnson, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart. But a Hall of Famer to me, ask the players they went up against. They'll go, oh, yeah. Like, you know how, like, you ask a question about somebody, they sit back in their chair, like, oh, this dude. Because numbers only tell part of the story.
Yeah.
Like Julio Jones does not have a lot of career receiving touchdowns. Would anybody question him? Oh, no, Julio? And I think sometimes we get caught up in what the numbers. No. Can you talk about the position without that person? And what did they do for the position? Like, I mean, I could be biased again. I think Michael Vick is the Hall of Famer because of what he did to the position. I think Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer because of what he meant to the position. And I think sometimes I don't think Super Bowls are a team distinction. I don't think it's an individual award. We make it an individual award. But a Hall of Famer is one of those type of people. People are going to debate about it, right? People are going to debate about it. But when somebody says, hey, there's a difference in, and we talked about it, Steven, now people are going to watch the 76ers because LeBron is there.
Yeah.
I used to watch Joel Embiid, but I'm not even really watching the Sixers. I'm watching Joel. No, LeBron is going to make you watch the Sixers. The same reason why you was watching the Heat. You wasn't watching them when it was Shaq and D-Wade. You were, but you weren't. When LeBron went, and I think a Hall of Famer makes you stand up and watch. You know how, like, you getting ready to leave somewhere, and you see a Hall of Famer, like, wait a minute, give me one second. I just want to see him. I want to see what he does. Because it's a beautiful thing to watch. So, like I say, Marvin, when your father gets inducted in, sir.
Yeah, when he get in.
Call Kleenex and get an endorsement with him. Because it's gonna be, and don't hold back because it is listen, I was blessed, very humble, to be inducted into the Florida-Georgia Game Hall of Fame. And when I get the call, I say, number one, I didn't even know it was a Florida-Georgia Game Hall of Fame. Number one. Number two, when I get there, Vern Lundquist, the great Vern Lundquist, he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame with me. This is the Hall of Fame. I am my mother's child. I am her youngest son. My mama pushed me out the way like I wasn't even inducted when she saw Vern. She's like, that's Vern Lundquist. Like, my mother, you know what I'm saying? My mama said, oh, I want to hear what he got to say. Forget my speech. I done wrote it down, trying to say the right thing. So I will say a Hall of Famer is rare. It's not something that the Hall are very good. Now that induction, it's a lot of them. It's gonna be, that line is long. And guess what? You know what a Hall of Fame really is? You know how you get to somewhere and somebody goes, what's your name? Yeah. I don't see you on the list. You sure, man? They told me, I don't see you. It's that list, right? And I think a Hall of Famer is the type of person, if you saw him walking in a random place, would you stop them? Yep. Whoa, you so-and-so, right? You a good player, yeah, that's, and then a Hall of Famer, I was at when Coach Collins, he's no longer the head coach of Georgia Tech, was they had his first game. They had Calvin Johnson was there. I mean, I'm a couple of years older than Calvin Johnson. I remember Calvin Johnson. I'm a grown man, paying bills, got a wife and kids. When I saw Calvin Johnson, I said, that's Megatron right there. Now, mind you, he out here for the kids. Now, he out here for the recruits. He out here for the recruits. So the recruits don't really know. This thing, a lot of recruits don't know his name is Calvin Johnson. They just know him as Megatron. So I said, y'all see that up there? That's Calvin Johnson. They was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And somebody said, that's Megatron. The kid said, for Detroit, he shut the whole place down. Because they didn't know. And I'm like, mind you, the kid's like, autograph. I said, man, back up, man. This man, I'm going to back the kids up. And what did I say? Hey, man, could you sign right here?
Yeah, let me get one.
I have to get mine first, you know what I'm saying? But I will say, Marv, the fact that your father is one, bro, I don't know what that's like. I'm looking forward to you being there. But you remind me of Jared Payton, the son of Walter Payton. And he said, well, my daddy got, he said, I didn't know who my daddy really was. Like, that's my dad. I didn't really know. He said, well, my daddy got in the Hall of Fame. And I'm walking by, Joe Montana, Steve Young. I'm like, what is up? You know what I'm saying? And he said he didn't really get it. He didn't really get it then. He said somebody told him, do you know who your dad is? Yeah, no. Do you know Jerry Curl with the headband, the pony cleats on? And I think for me, that's what it is, man. A Hall of Famer, you either played with him or hated playing against him. That's it. You either love the fact I played with Steven there. Should be a Hall of Famer. Don't care how people feel. I'm about Alcorn State, 3rd overall pick, co-MVP to him and Peyton Manning. Come on, man. Took the Titans to their only Super Bowl. They may never go back. We'll see. Thanks, Jaguars. Thanks a lot. But I'm just saying, so to me, I think a Hall of Famer to me, simply, man, they the greatest to ever do it. They the reason why you play football, want to play like them, want to be like them. And I wore number 84 because Shannon Sharp wore number 84. I played tight end because Shannon Sharp played tight end. Shannon Sharp grew up about 20 miles from where my daddy grew up in Glenville, Georgia. My daddy from Vidalia, Georgia, home of the Vidalia Sweet Onion. I have never got a chance to meet Shannon Sharp. But if I get a chance to meet him, I'm just going to stare at him. He's going to be like, I ain't got nothing to say. Because I'm telling you, listen, I'm in podcasting now. You see he doing podcasts. That's what so when I meet him, I'm going to say, look, man, you got a pair of shoes. I'm going to steal a pair if you don't give me a pair. I ain't going to wear them. I'm just saying, man. And look, and I told Marcus this before. When I was a young rookie in 2004 and I saw Marcus Pollard and Dallas Clark for the Colts, I knew who Marcus Pollard was. I didn't say a word. You know what Aaron Kennedy started tight end told me? Oh, man, you should have told me I would have introduced you. Boy, introduce me to him. What you mean I would have? Because, what I'm saying. So to me, man, I hope I get a chance to shake a lot of these guys' hands. And a Hall of Famer in football, nothing against MLB. Their Hall of Fame ain't even real. Barry Bonds ain't it. It ain't even real. So I think that the hardest one to get in and the most prestigious one to get in is the NFL. Why?
Without a doubt.
Because it's the hardest sport there. It's a collision sport. And look, I dominated against in the state. Ray Lewis and all them. I was still doing it. So I think it's the greatest, man. And I don't think you could put no words. Like I say, I showed my wife the picture of me and Calvin Johnson. She don't know. She was like, who is that? I said, that's Megatron. Right? She was like, Megatron. She said, Megatron. She said, Megatron is a transformer, ain't it? Yeah, that's what you look at. That's how you look at real life.
That's him right there.
That's him.
That's like a real version. That's a real walking version right there.
That's how he look with skin and the face. But no, man, Marv, like I say, man, I don't know when you gonna get the call, sir. But when you get the call, I'm gonna be in Canton. Like I played with you. I said, listen, I get to do this. I get to say, I knew Marv. They said, you know his daddy? No, I knew the son. You know, my kids say, you don't know him. You don't know him. You know, black people, we don't think nobody know nobody.
Right.
We don't think nobody know him. But no, man, I think it'll be great. It'll be great. And Fred T for Hall of Fame too, just like Marvin Powell.
Last one before we let Marcus go, because we're almost at the hour point here. news that came out this week about some things some NFL players were involved in. We talk about a lot of times, proper investments for athletes to protect themselves, to protect the money they make while they're in it, and make money so they have something after the game. Well, obviously it came out this week that former Arizona Cardinals GM Steve Keim was involved in a scam that took the money out of Jalen Carter's, Nakobe Dean, Terrell Edmonds, among a few other ones. But they did say this week that one of the partners who was involved in that has passed away, unfortunately. Does this make things harder for some of these athletes to get into some of these investments when you have situations like this from somebody who obviously was in a situation to have more access to these athletes and obviously didn't do right by them? Marcus, what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, and I hate to make light of anybody passing, but when you are in a corrupt industry and you are doing deceitful things and misleading people, my man effed around and find out. F with nobody money. That's one. Two is I think there are so many different avenues where if a guy is doing business with somebody, whether they know him or not, there's ways to check and balance before you decide to do any business. And that's one of the resources I love as the chair that I'm sitting in, head of player engagement. Because if I hear guys, I'm making an investment into this group, whoa, let's take a couple steps back. How about let's do a background check on these dudes? Have they filed Chapter 9? Have they filed Chapter 13? Let's figure out who they are, who they people are, how they make their money before you decide you want to invest with these folks. So I think sometimes guys don't do their homework before they make the decision to spend money with somebody.
Marvin, your thoughts on this?
Man, it's unfortunate. In every industry where that's profitable, you're going to unfortunately deal with men who lack discipline and character, and the money will expose that. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It happens, in all major corporations to some degree, but in the NFL, in this thing where, amongst the players, you have a brotherhood, and, when you deal with coaches and owners, you want to believe that you're dealing with men of high character. And what you realize is that you're dealing with just human beings, undisciplined human beings like you have in every aspect of life in every industry. It's unfortunate. I hate it for the players. So much, there was such an idea about, athletes not being good businessmen, not being smart businessmen. Here you have young athletes who are trying to do the right thing, you know what I mean? And they're investing along with an executive within the NFL and within an NFL team. You would assume in theory, you would assume this person has the best interest of the players and wants to do right. But what you see is just, a lack of discipline take over. And it's unfortunate. And I hate it for the players. And, like Marcus said, you mess around, people out here working hard for their money. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They got plans for their money to impact their family. And when you steal their money, you impacting their family. You know what I mean? So they take it personal, and then you end up in a pool. Floating. That's real. That ain't just Netflix, y'all. That's real life. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, it's sad, man. I hate to see that.
Yep.
Ben, your thoughts?
Yeah, I hate to see it as well. I think when it comes to money, especially when you're a young man in the NFL, that's why you get financial people. You know what financial people are? Man, they're going to research everything. They're going to research everything you do. The house you buy, the car you drive, what you want to spend your money on. But here's the thing when it comes to investing. Yeah, ask the person who invested with you how much they got to lose. I should not be doing more than you. How much do you got to miss?
That's right.
Because it's like this. We all had children, our hardest day was picking a daycare. Now, we might not like the price, but the only way we can walk away is if I trust my child to be with you when I'm gone. So you think about your money and how hard it take to get it. You're a GM, right? Yeah. What you mean investment? You a GM, ain't you? Yeah. And sometimes when you're a young player, you don't know what to ask. That's why they got the Marcus Pollards of the world. Just go in there and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. You think about doing what? Yeah. He's the GM. What? His job is to pick the team. Not
what he's doing in business. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't is his name Charles Schwab? Edward Jones? I'm just saying you got to.
Raymond James.
I will say this though. My homie told me this and I agree. He said anything that got people in the perfection is not in there. If people are involved, perfection ain't. You looking for something that's perfect. Well, investment means long haul. That means I put my money today. I'm gonna see what it do over time. But if the same guy who drafted me is helping me try to get bro, what? No, I'm talking about when I was with the Titans and the Bucks and the Raiders. We did not talk about investments. I'm trying to get the most money I can when I'm working there. But yeah, it's called life, man. They won't be the last. They won't. Listen, people, money is the great reveal. You want to know how people are? Give them some bread. You want to see how they really are? But at the same time, what you need my money for? I'm trying to invest in something to people. This is what they do. Like I had financial people. They had a a location. I can go see them. Not I'm getting my taxes done from Jackson Hewitt and Walmart, and then they gone after they mess my taxes. No, we ain't doing it, bro. We don't play. This is too much money. And I think for these young players, if I got a head coach, a position coach, a special teams coach, I need to have a financial coach. I need to have somebody showing me, hey, man, how long you want this money to last? I want the money to last like this. Sit down, really understand what it takes. It's going to sound boring, right? But guess what? Jason White that went to Oklahoma, he won the Heisman. Remember when Oklahoma won the national championship in '99 and Jason White was the head coach? He never played a down in the NFL. You know why? Because he was a free agent in 2005 and he never played a down of football, right? And he won the Heisman. Well, he probably thought he was gonna play 20 years. But what if he give his money to the wrong people? I had financial people, and you know why I picked them? They said, Ben, you don't have enough money for us to steer. What? You don't make it. That's how they got me, though. That's how they got me. They said, we represent billionaires. But they also said, we represent billionaires, and if we took money from them, they wouldn't even know, and we don't steal from them. So I said, y'all ain't have to say the first part. You could have just said the billionaire
They could have kept that to themselves.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm 21 years old. I don't speak financial advice. You got to speak to me in a way that I understood. So, but they'll be listen. I look at it like this: if the money got stolen from you, find a way to make it back. Might not get it back. Definitely don't get it back from the person that passed away. But the person that's living, make their life hell. If they made yours hell, keep them in court. Yeah. You ain't gonna enjoy your life if you done messed up mine. So that's right. I think they should focus on and other than that, man, go try to find another way to make some money, man. It ain't the end of the world, man. If you've ever bought a car before, you've made bad investments. You'll bounce back.
From Jalen's contract extension this offseason, I think he might be all right. So no matter what he lost on it, but I'm with you, Ben. Regardless of who passed away or the circumstances around it, the man who's still around, make his life a living hell, because when you do deceitful things, you deserve what you get coming to you. As Marcus was sitting there saying when we first brought this up, but over the hour mark here for Marcus. I don't know if you remember how we close things out. We kind of throw it over to you. Anyone you would like to thank, send some shout outs to, any charities you're working with, social medias you want to share. The time is yours, my friend.
Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Really great opportunity for me as well. I enjoy doing these sorts of interviews and podcasts and conversations. They're really healthy. And anybody's listening, I feel like people get a lot out of it. Just want to highlight you guys for one. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for inviting me. I had a great time. Great conversation. Marv, I'm pulling for your dad to get in the hall one day. And like Ben, I'm going to show up too. I'm going to pull up. Hey, man, what's up? You don't know me, but I'm here.
Let's do it.
So I'm excited for him, man. Keep y'all doing y'all thing. Keep doing your thing. Keep encouraging people. Keep motivating people. And I'll be in touch soon.
Well, the door is always open. You ever want to hop on, talk some sports with us, Marcus? Just let us know. We get it set up. Have some fun, my friend.
Nice, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, enjoy your afternoon.
Marcus, man, as
always. All right,
that's
yes,
the best
sir.
position. Love you, Marv, but it's the Marcus represent the best position in football, man. I don't know why we ain't got our own documentary.
That's what we need. We need our own spot in the hall.
Before you go, who's the GOAT tight end?
Oh,
who's the GOAT? Before you go, who's the GOAT? Who's the guy who these young boys should be looking at? Whose film should they? Who's the one guy whose film they need to watch? Other than you.
Today, modern tight end or period. Period.
He's saying all time. Oof,
period. Whose film should they be watching when it comes to run blocking, running routes, catching that rock?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I like to say Gronk because I think Gronk is a really good mix between run and pass. But Shay did it at a level. Shannon Sharp did it at a crazy level as well. Man, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Mark Barraro. I mean, I just
Yes.
listen. I don't
Me and
know.
Ben
Ben
talk
Coates-
about Mark all the time on here. He
Ben
doesn't
Coates,
get
I
enough
don't
love.
know, man.
Don't get
That's
enough love.
TJ.
Hey, Mom, you see what you listen? Marcus is a true tight end. When you ask a tight end who's the GOAT, what you're really saying is, look, man, you making me pick that, man, because it's so many of them. It's so
What's
many.
up, TJ?
What's up, baby? What's up,
We
boy?
just talking about you.
What's up, boy?
What's up?
Hey,
Good to see
you
y'all.
doing good down there, youngin? You doing? They
Yes,
treat you
sir.
right down
Yes, sir.
there.
Yeah, doing great.
All right.
You done got adjusted to that Florida heat.
Man, yeah, had to get adjusted quick. Uh-huh.
Dope.
Yeah,
Wanted to definitely send you some love. We were just talking about you too.
man, yeah, that's great, man.
Just talked about
For sure.
Hey,
Nah, that
listen,
was a
man.
great
Make sure,
show.
listen.
That was
Let me
good.
get you a blow up couch or something in there that you can fit in, and just be
Right,
in
right.
Marcus' office all the time. Just be
There
like,
you
Marcus,
go. Yeah,
I'm
look,
gonna
he
see
got
you
the
after
couch. He
practice.
got the couch right here.
That's
This
what I'm
one's
saying.
probably a little bit more comfortable.
You know what I'm saying? Listen. And like Marv already told us, man, make one of those teams. I think it's gonna be the 53. But either way, make one of them squads because they. But listen, it's his team in Nashville, you got to play them twice. Take it easy on them. Take it
Hey,
easy
no such
on
thing.
them.
No such thing. Hey,
Don't
that's
take
not.
it easy on him. Don't listen to Ben. Give
uh,
it to the Titans
yeah.
twice as hard.
Exactly.
Oh,
All right, man. Good to see you, man.
We'll
Good
catch
to
up
see
soon,
you,
brother.
You
I'll
too.
reach out.
All right, y'all.
Take
Yep.
care.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all boys, man. It's been real.
Appreciate it, Marcus.
Likewise, we'll be in touch, Marcus. We'll have you
Okay.
on again here soon.
Sounds good. Love it.
All right.
Take care, man.
All right, later.
Thank you.
All right, that was Marcus Pollard, y'all. Obviously, a little shout out at the end there with TJ hopping in there. Anyone who's watched the program enough, we had TJ on here prior to the draft. Couldn't be happier that he gets that opportunity to make the team down in Jacksonville. We'll see how that all plays out. But I wanted to ask you guys this one. I came across this yesterday. It just blew my mind. What is the weirdest thing you've ever found in your equipment?
Oh, I read this story. I know what you're talking about already.
Yeah, I mean, dude, how do you beat this? A high school football player had a practice for an hour, and he had a freaking cottonmouth snake in his helmet.
Is this in Arizona? Where is this at?
No, it's not in Arizona.
You know what? You know what's crazy? I wouldn't say something that I found. I learned. So I don't know if this happened to Marv. So when I got on the team, when I got on the squad and with the Titans, we had a bunch of our team was really, really young. Like our average, we went from like our average age was like 22, 20. We was really, really young. We had a bunch of 20-somethings and a bunch of 30-somethings. And they didn't really rookie haze us for real. They didn't, it was subtle. We didn't know that they was doing it. So at the end of one practice or whatever, I put my helmet on and I could smell powder. I can't see it, but I could smell it. I'm like, I said, y'all smell powder? Like, no, but I had to get interviewed out. And so I take my helmet off and I got a freaking powder streak going down the center of my head. Now I don't know this. My teammates coming up to me, congratulating me or whatever, what I'm saying? It ain't like now when you can see yourself in the camera, they got the big cameras, you can kind of see it. And I go, back when people used to watch the news, go home, watch the news, I turn it on. I was like, okay, let's see what's up. Let's see what I said. I go, look. What in the world? Them boys done stuck the Johnson & Johnson in my helmet. And I'm sitting here like, bro, y'all doing me like that? Like, what you mean, Troupe? You didn't know? I said, I smelled the powder. I just couldn't. I ain't never, that's crazy. I mean, that's dangerous too. I mean, thank God he had a wherewithal, because most of the time, Marv, you don't even look at the helmet. You kneel down, you just take it, stick it on your head, and run back in the game. Man, I ain't never. Yeah, powder.
If you got bit in the head, that could have been very.
Well, that would have been a little. I mean, you got a snake in your helmet. What? That's what? Like that's nuts. That's nuts.
What about you, Marvin? You ever had anything weird happen with your equipment like that?
Fortunately, no. But when I read that, man, I was like, you talk about God is good. That's unbelievable. You know what I mean? And he had it in his helmet. The dude had the snake in his helmet for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking
he played an hour of practice with it on. It wasn't like he found out and seen it and like, yo, man, it was after the fact. So first off,
this was on his head with the snake in it.
Yes, he played.
It was inside of the helmet.
My freaking God!
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever helmet company that is, that young man need to get an NIL with them. Because goodness. Yeah. What helmet company was it?
I'm not sure it was, but whatever the helmet company is, they better start some marketing. We will protect.
Number one, that's a very, very was it cottonmouth?
Yeah. Right. And cottonmouth that's dangerous.
Either he got a lot of hair or that's a very cooperative cottonmouth. Because dude, that would have been nuts. I mean, that would have been the trend. What's wrong with you?
It's that Arkansas heat. It ain't like the Texas heat where they ornery over it. But like, listen, he's trying to keep cool and found the helmet and curled up inside of it. So,
dude, that's nuts. That's nuts.
As Marvin's saying, that God watching through the corner
I like how
right
Steve,
there,
you asked Marvin. I like how you say Marvin. You want Marvin? No, Marvin. No, like it. No, maybe a spider or a bug or something like a snake.
I ain't never dealt with nothing like that.
If I got a snake in my helmet, this is my last day. I'm done. That's it. This is my call. It's time to go. It's time to try something else. This is crazy. That's nuts. Dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you. Not to take us left, but there were stories in the 1920s and 30s before they had the plumbing right in New York City. Of people who could afford it, sitting on toilets and snakes coming up through the pipes and through the toilet.
Oh,
a lot of biting incidents. I'll leave it at that. These are true cases. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Make you never want to put a helmet on again.
I'm trying to tell you,
the toilet again.
Jesus.
So,
New York City, something serious too, boy. Them big old, I don't know about snake. Them rats up there in New York, but them things
they're on steroids, right?
Jesus. Like I say, when I was up there and I'm walking down side street and I see the rat, I'm like, that's a rat. That's a small dog. Jesus. That's all. New York is crazy. New York is nuts.
We're going from that to, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm not happy right now, right? So I don't know if you guys seen some of the views that come out and stuff like that, but you spend $2.2 billion on a new stadium. You should probably make sure your fans can see the whole stadium. This is just one of the many views that has come out. There's multiple areas and seats that have obstructions where you can't see the whole field. How do you design and spend that much money on a stadium? No one's going to buy them seats. No one's going to buy them seats if they can't see, the other end of the field because the hangover from the next set of seats is blocking their view. I'm going to start off with Ben on this. First off, the Bills are a budding franchise that is trying to ascend to that next level, right? New stadium, great. Gotcha. But this is an utter failure on multiple different levels. Ben, what are your thoughts?
What do you say? The curse of the Bambino? This is the curse of Jews. You better do right by OJ. You want to have a stadium that you ain't got no resemblance of OJ Simpson? That is the curse of Jews. And until you do right by Jews, I hope you can't see the stadium. That's right. How you going? We ain't gonna put nothing to OJ Simpson. What? And with the Buffalo Bills, and look, once again, the common sense committee has shown its face again. Just because people think, hey man, these people, these some of the smartest people in the world. No, they not. These some of the most talented people. No, they not. You gotta think about this. When you were building this and you stand there, hey man, listen, can you see me standing right here? No. Can you see me standing right here? If you can't see me standing to the right of you, you can't see the stadium. You can't even see the players. So and the Bills, y'all better come up with a way to do right by O.J. Simpson, or forget that statement. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody trying to be y'all got a new stadium. Y'all trying to get rid of the legacy of the players that built Buffalo. The reason why people watch Buffalo. So, yeah, but that's nuts, though. These $1 billion stadiums, once again, if you want to know how to make a stadium in the NFL, go look at some of these college stadiums. They'll show you how to do it. They will show you how to make a stadium because that's what they do. Oh, and people saying, well, how much do stadiums cost in college? Billions. The same as they do in the NFL. I just seen didn't Oregon just do their $100 million facility? $100 million. That's just for the players to practice on. Go call or if you're gonna do that, make it a dome. What seat is that? Like what even is that? What is that? What like that's like a timeout seat. Go over here. So you can't see nobody. That's take it out. Redo it.
Marvin,
you got
your
enough money
thoughts
for
on this
renovations.
absolute blunder by whoever designed the Buffalo's new stadium.
I would tell you something. My first thought was exactly what Ben said. That stadium is cursed until they do right by OJ. And I mean that was really my first thought. He must have read my mind.
I'm trying to tell you.
They might as well bury that thing on tribal ground. That thing ain't gonna get right until 30. I'm dead serious. It's wild to me that this is the case. But that thing gonna sell out anyway as long as Josh Allen there. Them Bills fans are sitting in the blind spot and listen to it on their headset. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they messed the stadium up, and you would think in 2026 with all the information on this, everything they need to build the stadium, they'd get that right. No blind seats, right? But it tells you, man, again, human error. You know what I'm saying? As long as humans is involved, you're gonna have issues. So
I disagree. I think there's going to be some. I don't think they'll ever have a complete sellout, as there's a Buffalo Bills in the house. Now you may be having other events go on there that might eventually have a sellout and things of that nature. But yeah, let's call it what it is. It's the curse of the juice and let it be. We're going from that to another situation. Now, obviously, Wendell Smallwood got in the news a few years ago for something that probably didn't want to, but the judge did do right by him, as his daughter's been diagnosed with a form of cancer that is terminal, and basically told she's got a couple weeks to a few months left to live. And the judge let him rescind his guilty verdict so he could go and spend time with her before he's more than likely going to be sentenced. There's sometimes when the system does wrong by people, then there's times where it does do right. And, I'm not condoning what Wendell is being accused of, going to be sentenced for, going to probably do time for. But the fact that there is some humanity left in us, that we know that, hey, his daughter doesn't got long to live, and allowing him to kind of step back and be able to do that, I think, is something we need to take note of. Marvin, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't know all the details behind why he's in that situation, but it does make me just, in a world where, we got so many issues with leadership and government, and we're going through so much as a society. And I'm happy to see that you got people out there who still see the big picture, who can do what they believe in their heart is the right thing, and people who still care about having impact on people and families. I mean, this is significant. If his daughter has been diagnosed with something fatal, something horrible, then really, you're not only showing him love, but the girl, because she wants to see her father, depending upon, what her timeline is looking at, right? So I'm thankful for the judge in this situation, just for having a heart, having compassion, and just seeing the bigger opportunity of impact in this moment.
And he was arraigned for misappropriating COVID-19 funds.
Gotcha.
As part of a larger scam operation, whatever. But Ben, your thoughts on them allowing Wendell to come home and basically spend the final weeks and months of his daughter's life with her?
Man, I feel really, 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 really like encouraged for the young man. And hopefully the state just decides to give him some level of probation. I mean, it's already rough enough. He was away from his daughter. Then he got to hear about her terminal illness. Then he got to hear from the same doctors that she don't got long to live, and they grant him some level of immunity or whatever to let him out, or early release to let him out. It was already going to be crazy being away from her. Now he get to come home to almost watch her take her last breath to then go back. This man going to be he's dealing with a lot, man. He really, really is. I am not condoning what he did. But if you can grant him early release for his child, maybe you can, even go further. Because I saw, I think he had a firearms charge on.
Yeah,
on top
there's a firearms charge and the the misappropriated of funds.
Yeah, misappropriated. But no, I mean sometimes the system does work correct. Sometimes the system surprises you.
That's why I said I was surprised to see that they let him change his verdict to kind of allow him to go home because he is dying of a rare childhood kidney cancer. So, and
these judges, these court systems, these prisons, they know the power of social media.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it was already out. But like, it's all right. Listen, people might not have a lot of money. They do got signs, and they can march, they can protest, and they will do all three. So, and I'm not saying it would have got to that point, but I hope the guy performs a miracle with his young daughter, man. Because it's to have to. Nobody wants to get. You don't want to get that diagnosis on yourself, let alone a family member. But you definitely want to get on a child. So I mean, praying for that dude. He's already going through a lot. Praying for him, and I hope it's. Listen, I hope his daughter. I hope they say, hey man, she's superseded expectations. She gonna live another 80 years. I said, well, listen, he can't go back because as long as she got diagnosed with it, he get to stay out. So who knows, man? But I'm praying for him and his daughter. Yeah, that's a lot to deal with, man. To get that type of news, when you are already locked up away from her. So I am happy that he get to be by her side while she deals with this.
Now, Marvin loosely touched on this when we were talking to Marcus. We've been talking about the LeBron James effect. Did you see how much nosebleed tickets are for the Knicks and Sixers opening night game?
Well, that's right.
It is almost $2,200 to go see the champions banner being dropped with LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and the Sixers gonna be right there with them. But I mean the Christmas Day ones games are going to be absolutely craziness already because you got Spurs Knicks, Packers Bears, Heat Celtics, Bills Broncos, Sixers and Lakers.
Sixers and Lakers. Look at the program.
that is the Christmas Day game. And for people that forgot, the Eagles are playing the Texans on Christmas Eve. So I mean, look, it's the holiday games are gonna be crazy, but almost $2,200 to watch the Knicks and LeBron James opening night. We knew it was gonna be crazy, right? Right, Marvin? Did you think it would be that high? That high?
Yeah. So on the last show, I said that LeBron moves the needle the same way that every megastar has in the history of the planet. I mean, he's in that conversation of in my opinion, of Babe Ruth and Jordan, just in his draw. You know what I'm saying? And this is evidence of it. Year 24, y'all. Year 24, he's raising the price and selling it out too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's doing. And you talk about being a boss in the game in year 24, when we know we're not getting the same product we got in year 10, he's doubling and tripling the price on y'all. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this is what made Michael Jordan different, is what he did to the business aspect from being an athlete perspective. You know what I'm saying? How he moved the needle in business. So, again, y'all, He might not be the GOAT, but he's the king. You know what I mean? And this is the evidence of that. And he's still the biggest name in the NBA. Who else in the NBA is moving the needle like this? Who?
You can't say he's not the king. They're demanding a king's ransom for you to watch him. So he is the king. You can't take
it. When you look at the numbers, not just his basketball scoring and all those, I'm talking about the money. He's the king. You know what I mean? You cannot argue that.
But that might be. I mean, Marv, I know people say that a lot, but every time you say that might be the statement of all statement when it comes to LeBron. Yeah, he's not the GOAT. No, he's the king. Like, think about that. Like, he's not the GOAT. No, he's the king. Who? LeBron. King. Like, think about this for a second. Like, you know, to be the GOAT, that's always going to be subjective, no matter what sport it is. Now, some people say it's Jack Nicklaus. Most people think it's Tiger Woods when it comes to golf. When it comes to tennis, you know, I mean, is it Pete Sampras? Is it Andre Agassi? Is it Novak Djokovic? Is it, you know what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on. Rafael Nadal. When it comes to basketball, people say LeBron. I mean, people say Jordan is the GOAT. Yeah. But when you say he's not the GOAT, yeah, he's the king. Oh, case closed. Like, he is. He's the
I
king.
already said you're never going to see anyone like LeBron. So to sit there and nitpick at, you know, he wasn't he is so good at so many different things that you have to call him the king.
Hold on. Here's the thing, right? When he coming out of high school and somebody said King James, everybody ain't gonna say that because he's still kind of like young but year 24, everything still stops when he moves. Basketball is still stopping. Adam Silver said, wait. Hey, Rich Paul said he's gonna announce where he's gonna go. I go back to 3 shows ago. A burner account almost shut the fan and end down because Steve was like, it just happened. That is the LeBron effect.
But it happened anyway.
Right it's the LeBron. Hey, the LeBron effect is one of those things. It's like this. Steven, man, how you feel about LeBron? I mean, I think he's the second best player of all time. They say he's coming to the 76ers. You lying. For real? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, all right, look at Philadelphia right now, right? He comes in and you can arguably say he is the biggest superstar in Philadelphia. That's with a Kyle Schwarber. That's with a Bryce Harper. That's with a Jalen Hurts. That's with a Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
he has to be the biggest one. And that's just me. I'm not LeBron's biggest fan. I'm not going to sit there and act like what he brings to the table isn't something special. So it's one of these things where, I mean, it's going to be unfortunate for some fans. You're going to miss out on some of the stuff because of how high the ticket prices are. We're talking about the first few games, some of the marquee games, some of the other stuff. As you get closer to these games, they'll drop down. You'll be able to go, guys. I promise. You're going to see it drop at some point in time, but you have to be in awe and respect on what he's already done, and he hasn't even touched the court yet. I'm having all kinds of. There's already multiple different murals in Philadelphia. There's multiple different murals.
Hold on, think about this.
He hasn't even took a step on the court.
NBA Adam Silver voiceovers. Reach out to Marvin Powell and get him to say he's not the GOAT yet. He's the king. Like, and let the music play. Like, let it cuss. When you think about it, right? Isn't that what you want for yourself? I want to put myself in a class all by myself.
His own lane.
The whole purpose is to say, hey, man, Michael Jordan said I had to separate myself from Magic, from Bird, from Drexler. I had to say, Dr. J, right? And what happens is LeBron said, hey, dude, how do I separate myself? I gotta have the most points. I gotta have the most minutes played. I got to be the most influential basketball player ever. And you already know who got the rights to the documentary. You know Netflix done gave them a stupid bag and they're just waiting.
He's already sat there and said, like, they've already gotten a lot of content done. I have a feeling that if they do it, it's going to be a multiple season release.
The thing that LeBron has done is this. As football players, Marv, we don't talk about every football player. There are certain players that you may talk about. Name a basketball player that don't have to talk about LeBron. Current, future, they have to because they're who LeBron, yeah. And now you got Lakers legends saying all kind of dumb. He's not the greatest Laker of all time. No, but he gave you a chip. He gave you a chip.
Yeah, what does Shaq just sit there and say? Like he's talking about how many chips they won. He'd be like, he's not on the stage, but he's in the room. Like, come on, man. Like, guys.
Well, think about it. Kobe wanted to win 2 chips. Kobe won 2 chips without Shaq. Shaq got his 4th chip with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade got 2 more chips with LeBron. Kyrie Irving got a chip with LeBron. AD and Dwight Howard got a chip with LeBron. Joel Embiid. Yeah, you ready? You know what I'm saying? It's like
have you seen pictures of Joe? Have you seen him? He's 20 pounds lighter than he was last season.
I'm trying to listen.
He's 20 pounds lighter than he was last season.
Listen, the Marvin Powell, he's not the GOAT. He's the king. That's a tagline. Because in a sense,
I already told you, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signed last week with the Sixers, right? We talked about that the week before. You know, DeMar DeRozan's trying to find his way in now. He's begging for that last spot. He's begging for that last spot.
Hold on, is that what you think, Steve, or has that been reported?
Well, no, it's been reported that he's been in contact with the Sixers, that DeMar DeRozan has been in contact with the Sixers. So I'll be a 6th man. I'll be a guy off the bench. I want to be a part of this team. If they land those 2 guys off the bench with what they already have, plus the young nucleus, we could make an argument like people should start placing their bets that the Sixers will be in the Eastern Conference Championship, will be a potential NBA Finals team. We still don't know what they're going to look like on the floor. Let's be honest.
It's happening. It's once again. I can see that being a commercial. You got a bunch of kids that argue, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. LeBron James is the GOAT, he's the GOAT. And somebody in the corner say, no, he's not the GOAT, well, he's the king. And they go, and then LeBron in the corner go, I am the king. Like that's it. Like, because I don't even think Marv know what I know you know what you're saying, but every time you say it, it make me go, he ain't the GOAT. It's almost like, look, think about it, LeBron going, the GOAT is what we made it. That's what we said, the GOAT. And you know, who don't want to be the king? And think about it. Who don't want to be the king? And I think for LeBron, he's saying, all right, when my career is over, everywhere I landed, look what happened to the team. Look what happened to the city. Look what happened to the fan base. Look what I did to the NBA. Look what I did from 2003 to 2030, whenever he's going to stop playing. I don't know when LeBron's going to stop, because he's still a starter. Joel Embiid, look how Luka Doncic body looks since LeBron left. LeBron showed him, hey, bro, you want longevity? I know you know how to hoop. And I know Luka Doncic got problems off the court, and I hope that gets settled.
Yeah, do you see that? She wants $50 million. $50 million. And she also wants to have him have less access to the kids, talking about 1 weekend a month.
Man, she ain't sure. What did Drake say, man? She wasn't shooting with you in the gym. Man, 50?
She wants $50 million.
That's another thing that made
and she made it very clear: 40 of it's for her, 10 of it's for the kids.
She want 50. She want $50 million, like one lump sum payment of $50 million.
No. She wants that payment, and then on top of it, she wants the $50 million.
She wants the Luka signing bonus.
Listen, I feel bad for Luka, but listen, man, this is what happens when y'all don't marry the right woman. Y'all don't got a prenup and stuff like. Listen, if one of you young men come across this and you're thinking about becoming a professional athlete, take the John Cena approach. Y'all got to sign NDAs and contracts before we even get in a relationship, because I ain't playing them games.
You might want to do the Jeremy Shockey too. Didn't Jeremy Shockey say he had the surgery when he got to the Giants? He was on there with Shannon Sharp. He said, "Yeah, man, I had the surgery." Like, what you mean? He says, "I had the surgery so I couldn't get nobody pregnant." He said, "You don't want kids?" He said, "Well, you can reverse it. You can reverse the surgery." And I'm like, do you know how many women you know you finna be getting at if I'm finna get the surgery? and it seems crazy now that he said it, but he goes, man, I got drafted by New York. And he said, plus I was in Miami. So, you know what I'm saying? He was like, and Shannon was like, dang, I ain't never thought about it. He said, if I'm gonna spend my money, I'm gonna spend it on me, literally. to protect myself. So I don't know if he got kids now, but that was Jeremy Shockey. He said, "Yeah, man, I got the surgery." But yeah, man, I listen to people that have a problem. The people that got the problem with the prenuptial agreements don't fully understand. People that work extremely hard for what they built for themselves, and it doesn't mean they don't want to share it with you. But you being married to a person doesn't mean that you got to get half of everything they got. And I know Kobe didn't sign a prenup when he got married. And look, sometimes it works out.
Look what happened to Anthony Edwards. Man, he paid that woman to have an abortion, didn't get the abortion, goes to court, pays it. Now she crying that she ain't getting enough, and they had to go back again. So it's listen, man, like for anyone that has anything negative to say about an athlete being apprehensive about any woman trying to get in their lives, there's plenty of examples of why people that these men and or women, have to protect what they've already earned, what little that they have squared away for savings for themselves for after professional life. I'm not. I have nothing against these people, but it's like, damn, like we that messed up in life that we just gonna find somebody to leech off of to live a certain way. If that's the way it is, man, like I don't need a whole lot of things, man. Just make sure I got gas, electric, food in my house, and I'm good to go, man.
The only people who really have a problem with prenups are the people who in the relationship don't have assets or assets that measure up to their potential partner. The only people who have a problem are the people who have something to gain, period. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate because, it's fair to say that if your partner has done the things correctly to achieve a certain level of success, that's come off their back, their success, before they even met you. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a problem, making sure that they don't lose all what they've created for their family before they even met you, I can understand how that could be a problem. But yeah, man, it's, you had the CEO of JP Morgan come out and say that he told all of his sons they have to have a prenup to be in the will. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a prenup if you want to be in daddy's will. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just it's for people who have attained a certain level of success, who have that discipline where they have something to protect. I mean, it's a must-have.
Listen,
Yeah.
I told my son if he gets to that point, I'm like, listen, I wouldn't trust anybody that wasn't there since day one. The end.
Steve, it protects both of us, baby.
Have y'all seen the guy that I don't know if he's American. He might be, I don't know, black dude. He does all his memes and he just does like he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk.
I know you're talking about.
He's married, and his wife tried to take him to court. Come to find out, everything is in his daddy's name.
Mom, yeah, exactly. It's not in his name, exactly.
And look, I know everybody gonna be thinking, y'all are against the ladies. This is not what we are saying. We are saying this. It's extreme. If you really love him, you have no problem with signing it because people are thinking, look, man, it's about how hard it took to get it. Well, let's flip it. If you coming in with 100 million and I'm coming in with my charisma, it's like it happens on both sides, and for people thinking, I think you make the right point on Marv. It's like, dude, you got to protect yourself. Why? Because people change their mind, man. It's a human thing. How many failed relationships have people been in? You know what I'm saying? And then you want to get married. Well, there's people involved, and sometimes people be married for 50 years. Sometimes you be married for a year. Well, Your Honor, we've been married for a year. I think I'm entitled to the new contract he just signed. Really? What? So yeah, it's a situation where people are just trying to protect what they've earned, and people saying, well, if you love me, you will make me sign a prenup. This ain't got nothing to do with love, sweetie. This ain't love. Love ain't the problem. There are people that are divorced or no longer with each other, still got love for each other. But Michael Jordan, he remarried. And what he told his wife, hey, we got twins. You will get $1 million per twin per year. So if we are married for 20 years, right, that's 40 mil. We married for, and that's not saying they won't get. That's not saying, but if you know what it is and you know who this person is, if you saw Michael Jordan's wife, would you know her? No. Would you know Michael Jordan? Yeah. Okay, that's Michael Jordan right there. So yeah, y'all protect yourself out there.
Yes.
And the thing is, or put it in your mama name, put it in your daddy name. It's free advice over there, because I mean. And look, I hope y'all be married for a long time, and I hope y'all be together for a long time. But you know what? You know what a man's biggest downfall is? The ladies. These women ain't famous. Now, you famous, a high-profile athlete. You went to the club. There she is. You know, and people be thinking, oh, he's a professional athlete. He got to be thinking differently. A man with $100 million and a man with $100 like the same thing. It's not that it's not a great separator. They looking at the same one, except one has an advantage because he's famous, right? Well, guess what? Y'all had a nice little rendezvous. Now she need to talk to you, and I hope you sitting down. What? Because Marv, remember the commercials? Trojan man. They don't even do them commercials no more. They don't even do them commercials no more. What are they using Trojans at? What are they using anything? The cheapest thing in Walgreens is the condoms. Why? Because they backordered it. They got dust on them in the back.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
in America,
let's move on. And unfortunately, we got to talk about the reality TV show that is the WNBA anymore.
Oh Lord!
And listen, they stepped in like 4 different piles of poo this week, and none of it was any good. None of it was any good. We were already talking about it last week. Now they're sitting down. They're going to have a meeting to discuss what, you know, with other female athletes, what the notes as a woman athlete, because of the how their political stances on certain situations. You're having former NBA players sitting there saying that they're gonna designate themselves a female and they're gonna enter into the WNBA draft. Then the other nonsense that's going on. I'm gonna play 2 videos, pull up a couple things, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Let's start off with the Sophie Cunningham one, right?
Right across the face, coming down, trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant too, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant too. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Without
Sophie
question.
Cunningham in a vulnerable position in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question.
So obviously she got the T2, all that stuff. The real problem starts not even that. I don't think people realize when that foul happened that the Fever's coach went to check on Deja, not her injured player, which started a whole nother thing. But when she got to the back, the post came out. The whole white privilege nonsense. Listen. I'm never going to make this about race. Some people will make it about race. I get it. I get why people would make that connection, but her response to people's reaction to it, I think, is just pure nonsense. It's a PR cover for it. If you were upset about it, you're in your feelings about it, I get it. But for her to sit there and say white privilege when, if you go and look at how she was brought up, school she went to, opportunities she had, she's the one that has benefited from it. So I get when you're in your feelings, you sometimes say and do some things that are out of character for you. I'm hoping that's what happened in this instance. I don't think that it was a targeted situation, that she seen Sophie was coming down the floor and was trying to hurt her. I think she was playing tough basketball. I really do. I'm not going to play that this is a targeted situation, but a lot of people are painting it as that. I think the biggest problem was some of the stuff after the fact. Now, Sophie responded in a way I think was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Said basically clearly it was unnecessary. Never really spoken to her. Had no beef with her. Guess she had some pent up stuff she needed to get off your chest. That's fine. I could take it. That's a basketball player right there. You can, people can judge Sophie for how she wants. She could have easily leaned into all that. Yeah, it's this way, it's that way. My problem with the whole thing was the coach. I don't know if you've seen afterwards, she was defending Deja, right? You should be defending your player. Regardless if you have a friendship, relationship, whatever. If I'm an athlete and there was something that happened to me on the court, on the floor, on the field, whatever, and my coach is defending the person that attacked me, I don't know if you guys seen it, but like Caitlin Clark has her head down like this, and she was just in disbelief. Now, Dave Poignet basically is going out there, Mr. Barstool, and is absolutely calling for, having the coach fired. When you don't defend your player, you open yourself up to this. And I did see that she did a press conference. I think it was yesterday, and basically told everyone to, to basically F off. I'm gonna start off with Marvin in this one. Let's kind of go through the fouls. What's happened afterwards is why we've already said what we said, that there's a managerial problem with the WNBA.
Well, this is what I will say. I think that people missed the boat with the coach's comment. I think the coach was doing her best to not make it a racial issue and keep it basketball. I think that's what she was trying to do, because I'll be honest, when I saw the play just now, I just saw a hard foul, which you see in every game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I saw. The issue is that Sophie Cunningham has become polarizing. So anything that happens with her is going to be hyped up times 10, and there's nothing drives the meter like the race card, right? Like the race issue. I mean, people are just suckers for that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't look, they don't think for themselves. They don't, they jump on some writer's take who's trying to get clicks. I'm not saying that white privilege and racism is not real. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is everything ain't race. You know what I'm saying? Them girls is dogs. You know what I mean? They're competitive. You know what I'm saying? Sophie's polarizing. If you hard foul her, you a racist going after a white girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the case. And I think the coach was just trying to keep it basketball versus not defending her player. I think people kind of missed that. That wasn't her intention. From or at least that's a perspective that we should look at, I think. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the coach just was, is trying to keep it basketball, trying to take the high road, and, talk about this in an area that doesn't require race. I don't know. But, it was a hard foul. I respected Sophie's response. I think it speaks a lot about her, to be honest with you. I don't know if Caitlin Clark putting her head down when the coach was talking means that Caitlin was against what she's saying. She may have just been tired, and resting. So, yeah, man, I just, look, there is a leadership problem, I believe, in the WNBA. I said that, a few shows ago. I think they dropped the ball and they missed opportunities. And this here may also be them dropping the ball and not riding with the coach and trying to keep this a basketball thing and tell people, listen, we have flagrant fouls every single game. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you choosing to make this one different? I don't know.
Ben, your thought on the Cunningham foul and I guess all the media surrounding it.
Woo! The Cunningham foul, I do agree with Marvin. It is a hard foul, but this is what happened when your league matters. See, when no one cares about your league, this stuff isn't news. But now your league matters, and what makes a league matter? Well, the WNBA is building their league the same way the NBA is. What the NBA is about the players. The MLB is about the teams. The NFL is about the shield. The NFL shield. Which players gonna matter? The best and controversial players. And Sophie Cunningham's controversial? Nope. But people make her that because everything she does is a headline, right? That coach don't even know what to say. Oh, shoot. Why? Because you talk about Sophie now. That's like talking about Caitlin. I have to be more structured, right? And here's the thing. I still want to lean to the side of the player. And all I got to do is say, look, it was a hard foul. It was a basketball play. Sophie know how I feel about her, right? But it's a hard foul, right? But I ain't the coach. I don't get that 15 minutes to think about before I got to sit in front of the media, right? But y'all want it to matter, right? You want it to matter. Now, Sophie Cunningham, she go from the point man, she's the pointer. Now she's the model. She's getting interviewed by political, not getting interviewed by political commentators, but she's on political commentators, nightly news, whether she want to be or not. Sophie is realizing for the first time, as was the head coach, sports can do all that. Yes. Sports be leading. It be the leading story on non-sports shows. So, look. And this only matters for two reasons. And people can say what they want. Sophie is attractive, and Sophie can play. Right? That stuff matters. If people act like it don't, it does matter. And for the Fever, they better hope they, win a chip this year against Aja Wilson and them, because Aja Wilson's still the best player. You saw when Caitlin came down one-on-one with her and she got the steal on him. Probably was a foul if you really look at it. And then she got the big steal. They hit the three. They win the game. But if you are the WNBA, go to the Marvin Powell School of common sense and utilize these things. Like, keep eyes on your product. Keep the eyes on. Now, I don't know if we're going to talk about it, Steven, but I think WNBA got this problem. They got identified. Look, the WNBA, I don't know, we get WNBA got NBA players coming out for the draft. They draft. The WNBA right now, they better get all they can get, because when real football, which is on the way, which Marv told us, how many days out from SC football?
31 days. 31 days.
They better snatch every headline they can get, because when football kick off, football ratings go this way, WNBA ratings go that way. So they better do all they can to capitalize on these headlines.
I think their game, last night or the night before, it got 2.5, Bill.
Okay.
So I mean, their most watched game ever, and it was after all the nonsense. And even when we're talking about the gender identity nonsense, that's still not their only problem. They were going after Caitlin Clark again last week for some utter nonsense. And it wasn't even the players this time. It was the referees. We've seen all kinds of plays happen when players playing tough basketball, trying to keep the ball in bounds, bumping into the ref, and they call a foul. I'm pulled up right here, right?
The Fever have been told this technical foul was for Caitlin Clark running into the official. Here's what happened. She lets go of the ball, spins off of her. I don't see in what world that contact rises to the level of a T.
How do you tee her up for that? That's just like knocking into somebody, and they did rescind it. They did rescind it, right? So she's not going to be suspended because she's at that mark where she's going to be suspended for how many times she's been called for tees this year. So,
you know what that shows, Steve? The pressure people feel under with anything to do with Caitlin Clark and Sophie, to be honest with you. That's kind of where they are. And that's a lack of leadership. The pressure they feel to do something because it's Caitlin. And that's sad, man. That's I mean, it just shows you could be professional, you can wear them stripes, but you're still a human being with human emotions who get caught in real time of feelings, and you feel pressure as to I gotta do something. No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let it go, man. Like it's one of these things where it's like you're beating this drum that doesn't need to be beaten anymore. Like,
man,
and we've seen it. Like, she's not the only player this season that has knocked into a referee after making a basketball play. It'd be one thing if Caitlin was running over and ran her over. She bumped into her. Are we that sensitive?
And the ref was kind of slow. It's almost like she didn't want to call it. But she, it's almost like people looking at her like, oh, don't let the fans dictate what you do now. Or you're going to let Caitlin get away with that. But then when you rescind it, once again, I am a proponent of referees should have to do post-game press conferences just like the players. Hey, man, what's up with the I made a quick decision. Because you know what I'm saying? People, they give statements. I don't want – because if you're a pro ref, right, you should be able to speak on your behalf. You're an adult, aren't you? Go ahead. You're getting paid, aren't you? The WNBA got real famous, they got real popular real fast, and they don't know what is going on. The commissioner, the coaches, Kane have been dealing with this for a long time. She's the daughter of a famous, of a professional athlete. She understands. I think the people around Caitlin probably get sick of like, look, man, I get it, man. Y'all gonna be asking me questions. You know what I'm saying? They say the third. But you know what Asia Wilson say? They got to come see me though. All of them got to come see. All that stuff is cute. Bam get to say how many points he scored in one game, one behind, Wilt, one ahead of Kobe, right? She just put up her hand to show her rings. You ain't seen the little video, Marvin, Steven, her and Cheryl Swoops going back and forth like NBA championship. They sticking these little things in the cake. But I think it's good for the WNBA because the best players have to learn how to handle what comes with it. That's just a part of it, man. And ain't nobody finna feel bad for you, man, when you got cameras in your face. I mean, ain't Sophie Cunningham a Sports Illustrated model? So you got modeling contracts while you out there hooping. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. But
that's why I really dug what Sophie said. She just made it about basketball and didn't lean in that where she could easily have to. I know we're in the last few minutes. I want to try to get two quick ones in here real fast. It came out this week that this is indeed going to be Lane Johnson's last dance, right? And it's sad they're giving him billboard material. Just they're gonna get some DN's feelings hurt this year. So first off, he wasn't on the top 100 this year. First and foremost, he wasn't on the top 100, right? And that's fine. That's fine. You just did billboard material for it like that. But let me go over something for you. Let me go over something for you with Lane Johnson, right? You all realize he's given up 20 sacks in his career. 10 of them came in his rookie season, meaning the last 12 years as NFL tackle, Lane Johnson has given up 10 sacks. 10 sacks in 12 years. But he's not a top 100 player. He's not if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 right tackles in football. Y'all gonna get some defensive ends, some edge rushers, butts turned in this season because Lane Johnson is that dude. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think it's just destined. He's going to wear a gold jacket at some point in time. You don't be all Pro Bowl, all that stuff multiple times during that period of time, but 10 sacks in 12 years, that's a ridiculous number. Ben, your thoughts on Lane hanging it up and just the disrespect he continues to get, man?
I saw that when he said that, and I like the fact that he's going out still being one of the best. I do think Lane Johnson is highly disrespected. Sorry, Penny Soul, I hate to throw you in here, but two of these things are not the same. And I get it. 20 sacks in a career is still it's good. 10, I gave him 20 sacks my whole career. 10 came my rookie year. I'm going to that's crazy. And Lane Johnson, the best offensive lineman I've seen come through, the Philly. I mean, obviously, I remember Runyon, him and
I think he's better than. I think he's better than Runyon.
I think he's way better than Runyon. The 3 guys, I think Runyon, I think Peters. No, I think 3. I think 4. Runyon, Peters, Andrews, Lane Johnson. And the thing is, Sean Andrews got drafted first round, out of Arkansas. I played against Sean when he was at Arkansas. But I just think Lane Johnson is so good that he's boring. He's that good. I'm not going to give you – don't look on the right side. Ain't nothing going on over here. Nothing. And so I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, Jalen was saying, listen, man, I mean, you sure you don't want to come back? What more you have to do? You good, right? You healthy, right? You know what I'm saying? You got your posturepedic. I saw you. I will say this. Follow that man this entire season. And he'll give you a lot of bulletin board material. But follow that man just to see how he works. I know they did the weekend of life, but yeah, Lane Johnson is that dude, man. Lane, look. There's a guy on this show called The Fan in the End. He's the son of a great old lineman that probably didn't get what he deserved either, right? But that's how good he was. Some guys are so good. Hey, man, they said, man, every time I watch him, man, he dominates the dude. That's what he does. So that's Lane Johnson. He dominates people. He got 2 super dupers, and I saw his played 168 games, started 168 games. Sound like a winner to me.
What are your thoughts, Marvin? You think
I don't think
it's got something to gripe about here?
No, he's going into year 14, and he's considered to be one of the top 105 football players in the world. That's a flex. I think, you know what I'm saying? That's a major flex. Listen, I've watched him play. I appreciate his play, as Ben said, and I'm grateful for the love Ben shows, the support of the idea of Marvin Powell Jr. should be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Ben Troupe. Thank you, Steve Rychel. But Lane's a dog out there, man. Lane's a guy my father would appreciate. You know, my dad was a big Baselli fan. We watched Baselli's films together when my dad was alive. But, you know, Lane's a dog out there. In year 14, he's one of the top 105 NFL players in the world. That's a serious flex. He's absolutely a Hall of Famer. Probably not first ballot because of the men in front of him. But, nah, man, Lane's doing it at a high level. I think, you know, when you go this long, you probably just have a passion for it, but, you know, a little extra motivation doesn't help. And, you know, I don't think he needs bulletin material. I think he's at a point beyond that, but it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see what he does this year, going into year 14, as his team will be one of those teams contending for a championship.
Yeah. Not getting the respect for that. They're not even in the top 10 teams either, but that's fine. That's fine. But one last one. This is going to be more directed at Ben than it will be you, Marvin. I don't know if you've seen this, but you know, your Vince Young is going to be featured in a Netflix documentary, right?
No, I didn't see that. I'm happy for me to let. Listen, I hope I get a little. You know, Netflix ain't sent me. You know, they ain't sent me my $25 for my little interview yet. They ain't sent me no money, but it's fine. No, I will say this about Vince Young. I am happy for him because Vince Young to me at the quarterback position was polarizing like Reggie Bush was at running back. I put them right there together, right? And I think for a guy like Vince Young, he's from Texas, he's from Houston, played at Texas, won a national championship. I think it's the greatest national championship ever played. I think that 2006 Rose Bowl was probably the greatest, back and forth with talent, drama. It was, man. It was cool.
Marvin, you put your thumbs down all you want. You know that's probably
if Reggie, to me, right? If Reggie Bush doesn't do the dumbest thing, just don't do that, Reggie. Keep it. What are you trying to do, Reggie? Anyway, knowing Vince Young, I'm looking forward for him to be able to tell us stuff that's make us go, what? Because, you know, his rookie year in 2006, we do like a charity softball game. And Steve McNair was obviously the pitcher. And they like sending a reliever. And Vince Young run out the dugout. You know, he give him a softball. They kind of like, because Vince obviously got mentored by Steve McNair in Houston when they was with the Oilers. But hey, man, I think that kind of stuff it validates you as a player when they think your story needs to be told. Now, I don't want it to be like Johnny Manziel's. Now, I don't know if Johnny wanted to do his. I said, dog, boy, you were doing it. But I am happy for him. I think. Which means if Vince Young get one, does Matt Lerner get one? Because Matt Lerner won 2 of them things. He went to 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't want to talk about Matt Lerner only played in national championships. Like, he did not play in a bowl game, which is nuts to even think about. And so, yeah, but I am happy for B.Y. the legend, man. Homie of mine, man. I'm looking forward to My mom gonna be like, "Vince, you know, I got that." I said, "Yeah, mom, you going, you know." I just want to. I think what he wants to do though, Vince wants to get a lot of misconceptions because his NFL career didn't turn out the way he thought. A lot of negativity between him and Jeff Fisher, and that whole situation with the Titans then became more of a journeyman with the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles and different things. But hey, man, I want to see it. I want to learn about Vince in a way that I didn't know. And hopefully, man, it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be entertaining. Like I say, if I get a Netflix $1 million check in the mail for my 30-minute interview that you're only gonna take a minute from, Netflix, man, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when they do holler at me, I'm gonna send y'all over. I'm gonna give y'all Marvin's number because that's the untold that I want to see. No. I want look. You know how like Marv got to walk into like the big warehouse. You know, you can see the windows. Ain't nothing but a chair. He sit down, like it's my chair right here. He goes, let's do it. And they do the they do, and then they do. I want Marv to be like, you think you know my life? Yeah, you have no idea. Bro. You think you know?
Like it.
Why listen?
Like
everybody else getting it. You know
They
what I'm
are.
saying? I mean, everybody listen. Everybody have seen mob movies. They ain't got the mob outside their house. They can't
Fact.
say that.
But
I'm
guys,
just saying, get out that
Guys.
window, Marvin. Daddy, who is that? Get out that window.
yeah,
Who are these
that's how it
people
went. That's
outside,
exactly
Daddy?
how it went down.
I'm just saying.
Close them
I'm
curtains.
just saying. Close them curtains.
Yeah, it was real.
That's right.
All right, Marv, your thoughts on this and your parting shots, your final thoughts for today.
Yeah. Well. I forgot what was the topic we were talking about. It was
we were talking about Vince Young getting his next special.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I forgot it because of the trauma. I was at the damn game. I was living in Miami. I went to the Oklahoma championship. It was in Miami. The next year, I flew out to LA to watch us win our third straight national title. And all I remember is Vince Young running on the outside, scoring. The ticker tape comes down, and I'm like, what the hell? It was the worst game ever. I hated that game. I cried after that game. I cried. I hated that.
So it's safe to say that game traumatized you as a fan, right?
Man, look, dude, I don't care. I ain't watching no Netflix on Vince Young. Anyway, but listen, I do want him to get a story straight. I do. Parting shots. Hey, I'm here with my man Ben and Steve every Wednesday. Check us out, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'm writing stories and doing videos, working as a writer for Roundtable Sports. You can catch me with USCJ twice a week talking USC Trojan football. We got 17 days to the first game. And, catch me, Marvin Powell III, Marvin on the mic, social media.
Ben.
Listen, back in 1977, the NFL draft, the New York Football Jets drafted this dude 4th overall. His name was Marvin Powell out of USC. Had an incredible career. If you want to know who he really was, make sure you vote for him. When the Hall of Fame committee come around, vote for Marvin Powell. Hall of Fame. Marvin Powell, the story, the untold story, Netflix. So if Marv don't want to watch Vince Young's, maybe Marv should watch Marv's. I want to see if I had to pick between Marvin Powell and Vince, I'm gonna go with Marv. I already know Vince. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick Marv too. So Marvin Powell for Netflix. Marvin Powell for Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm going to continue to second that. Like I said, I will, as long as we have these shows, these interviews where we're able to kind of put it out there, I'm going to critique what's going on with the NFL Hall of Fame. I agree with what Marcus said too. It's the club that everyone's trying to get into, and the lines, lines taped off around the back, going around one building, going back around another one. So, I mean, it is prestigious, but there's some people that shouldn't have to fight for it. That's all. That's my main thing about it. So, yes, Marvin Powell for Hall of Fame. We got, appreciate everyone's time. Marcus Pollard for coming on. Obviously, we're going to have him back on again at some point in time this season. Regardless how good or bad the Jaguars will be this season, talking everything football. as Marvin sat there and said, we're 10 days away from college football. We're, 32, 31 days away from the regular season here. And I will agree to this sentiment. WNBA better soak it up while they can, because they got mere days left until they will become the third or fourth talked about sport in North America. But another fun one in the books, guys. Please make sure you subscribe to all the channels here on the South Florida Tribune. I got 2 fun interviews lined up for you this weekend. I'm going to be talking to BKFC Cruiserweight Champion Esteban the Mohawk Rodriguez. That's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm going to be talking to the son of legendary boxer Roberto Duran. Robert Duran Jr. is going to be on here. He's got a big fight for BKB bare knuckle boxing. That's going to be in Miami, August 29th. Going to be some fun interviews this week. So guys, subscribe, share, wherever your social media form of poison is, whether it's X, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, however you consume it, make sure you're showing us some love. But other than that, another fun episode in the book. I'm Steve. That's Marvin. This was another episode of The Fan in the End. We'll catch you guys on the rebounds, my friend. Peace on out.